Joining us now for World Brief and the review of some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Adefemi Akinsanya. Good morning, Adefemi. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you, Dr. Rubin. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning, Bimbai.
Good morning, Adefemi.
How many years to Judeba?
It is, wait. We are 15 days away from Ojúde and 12 days away from Ileya, day one.
12 days
We're
away
there.
from Ileya.
We're there.
15 days away from Ojúde.
Almost there.
We'll do the Ojúde countdown every day till Ojúde here.
And we love that. We love that. Good morning to you, viewers. Let me tell you what's happening around the world. Now, from celebration to chaos in Liverpool, as 4 children are among the 47 people injured after a car ploughed into a crowd at the Liverpool Victory Parade. Now, 27 people were taken to hospital and 2 of them suffered serious injuries. A 53-year-old white British man has been arrested and is believed to be the driver of the vehicle. He was apprehended at the scene of the collision on Water Street in the heart of the city, just meters away from the Royal Liver building and Liverpool's Town Hall, after roads had been reopened following the parade. Now, speaking during last night's news conference, the Deputy Chief Constable of Merseyside Police said that the incident was not being treated as a terror attack. Let's listen to what else she had to say.
What I can tell you is that we believe this to be an isolated incident, and we are not currently looking for anyone else in relation to it. The incident is not being treated as terrorism.
Our hearts do go out to all of the people who were injured in that attack. Well, moving on, and Emmanuel Macron has denied he and his wife Brigitte had an altercation after a video appeared to show her pushing him in the face as they prepared to get off a plane in Vietnam. Now, the video, which was shot by the Associated Press camera, does show the French president appearing in the doorway of a plane at the start of a visit to Hanoi. His wife's hand appears to shove him, causing him to step back before recovering and waving. Macron told reporters in Hanoi that he and his wife were joking around, as they do quite often. Now, France and Vietnam on Monday did sign trade deals on Airbus planes, defence and other pacts worth €9 billion, which is around £7.5 billion. And that's as the Macrons embarked on the first formal visit by a French presidential couple to the country's former colony in nearly a decade. And finally, crowds of far-right Israeli chanted insults and assaulted Palestinians during an annual parade for Jerusalem Day on Monday. Chants of death to Arabs and nationalistic slogans were repeated during the event, which commemorates Israeli forces taking Palestinian-majority East Jerusalem during the 1967 Arab-Israeli War. Violence broke out as ultra-nationalist Jews streamed into Palestinian areas of Jerusalem's walled Old City. Opposition leader Yair Lapid said that the event had become a festival of hatred and racism, adding that it was a disgrace and an insult to Judaism. Those are your stories. Love to hear your thoughts before we move on to the papers.
And Netanyahu government allows this festival of hatred go on. And you constantly assault people that are already down. All of this is coming on the sidelines of the fact that you're still pounding Gaza as we speak. Yep. You have denied aid agencies from coming there effectively to be able to give people food. You've killed over 52,000 people as we speak. Since the ceasefire, you've killed over 3,000 people as we speak, because they don't have the military might to be able to fight back, and because they don't have big nations backing them, and because the former Arab partners now are doing deals with America, so everybody stays off because of global politics. So you can see the unfairness that goes on in the world. And when people talk, when people react, America shuts you down and say, don't say anything. But like I was singing, or I was reciting Streamside Exchange by J.P. Clark today, all of these things do not last forever. Tides and market come and go, and so shall your mother. Even the so-called American hegemony, we knew when it started. It was just after the Second World War. All these things don't last forever. And also coming back to the incident, anyway, the Merseyside police have said it's got nothing to do with terrorism.
Yes.
There was a 53-year-old man, 2 people severely injured in the hospital. We thank God that nobody died. What was the saving grace was the ambulance that was parked on the road, and the ambulance prevented the man from going further. It was supposed to be a celebratory day at the Merseyside for Liverpool, which is a very sad one. We condemn any form of terror. As regards Macron, I don't like to put my mouth in domestic issues between man and a woman. They're going to sort it out at their own time.
So you think there was a domestic issue? He said that him and his wife were joking.
No. No, it wasn't so. I'll tell you why. What I just have against that incident was the Elysee Palace first denied it and lied that video was AI. It was when the fact was overwhelming, they then need to accept it and said it was just a joke. Man and woman will fight. The day they are making love, you are not there. The day they are fighting, leave them alone. They will sort out themselves.
Okay.
God knows what happened in their union.
Okay.
Today I'll put my mouth in.
Okay.
I'll put my mouth in. I'm always pro staying out of people's business.
Exactly.
But today I'm going to put my mouth in it because there's so many issues at play. I'll pick up from where Rufai left off with regards to the initial denial and the rush to blame Russian propaganda for manipulating a video to push forward an agenda, which for us, especially as journalists, highlights some of the massive risks, the disinformation and misinformation that's circulating at the moment. Because there's a lot of conversation happening around, especially at the moment, around Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso, around, oh, it's Russian propaganda, it's this, it's that, the videos are AI. There's a lot of it circulating. It's so difficult to differentiate between what's true and what is not. So I just wanted to highlight that as a major issue that we're contending with in this current era, especially of journalism, and worse off for those who are consuming information and don't have the tools to be able to decipher between what's what. That's number one. Number two, I think that if we're going to talk about, this is on the extreme, if we're going to talk about Diddy, then we must talk about women as they are positioned in predatory or violent positions.
Absolutely.
Because we highlight, if this had been a man doing this to a woman,
or the president himself doing it to his first lady.
doing it to the first lady, the world would have had a meltdown. So I think it's important for us to always remember that women also can be on the aggressive side of domestic, whether it be domestic violence or domestic abuse, whatever it is. Their relationship has always been a little bit controversial because of the age difference and how it came about and so forth. So I'm sure they will settle their issue. But for me, let's also not sugarcoat the issue because it's a woman doing this to a man. Because if a man did this to a woman, we would all be up in arms condemning it.
Agreed. Thank you.
As a rule, I don't like to comment on man-wife, family matters.
You, Dr. Abati, you don't like to do it?
No, because you don't know what goes on, behind the curtains in each person's marital space.
Agreed.
A lot of people, including bachelors, including spinsters, like to comment on the subject. But, maybe even the Pope advises people on marital issues. However, this is the point that I'm trying to make. Couples have their own love language. President Macron himself has come forward to say, no, they are just playing around, fooling around, and it's what they do generally. The context of it, we cannot understand it. So I leave it to them between Brigitte Macron and the husband, Emmanuel Macron. President Macron has been a victim of conspiracy theories in recent times. Recently, he was said to have been taking cocaine by the conspiracy theorists.
Or that he passed the bag to the Turkish president.
On the basis of certain speculations with Recep Erdogan, the Turkish president. And then now they say, oh, he's a victim of domestic abuse. But he's a man who is in the arena, who knows how it feels. And he says there's no such thing. I think this trip to Hanoi, Vietnam, we should focus more on the importance of it. In the course of this trip, President Macron, the first French president to visit Vietnam, a former colony of France, has been able to secure a deal worth about 7 billion euros. Now, Vietnam has now committed to buy 20 Airbuses, from France. It has committed to engage with Sanofi, the French leading pharmaceutical company. And there are also deals that were struck in the area of clean energy and in the area, of commerce and business between both countries, transport, vaccines and all of that. I think that, it was a successful trip, and conspiracy theorists try in vain to try to play down what happened. Number two, the Water Street incident in Liverpool. I think it's shocking. It's terrifying. It's disturbing. Liverpool won the Premier League title,
Yes.
and they were going on a trophy, parade. And then this 53-year-old British man, who the Merseyside police say, well, he's not a terrorist, maybe he was drunk, plowed into the celebratory crowd and ended up injuring 4 children. 50 people ended up in hospital. 27 other persons are receiving treatment. But it's just unfortunate that, this became a downside to the achievement of Anslot, that's the manager of Liverpool, and his team. And also the triumphant, reaffirmation of the genius of Mohamed Salah. And now the morning after, we're talking about investigation, we're talking about crisis, we're talking about all of this. It's very unfortunate. Now, finally, the flag parade in East Jerusalem. Since the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, Israel has been unjustifiably claiming East Jerusalem, which is Palestinian-dominated.
Yes.
And, this has been a major issue out there. And so every year they have this flagship. They go there to taunt the Palestinians in the old city. They say, oh, death to the Arabs, death to the terrorists. They call them all kinds of names. In fact, the National Security Minister, Givir, even went to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is one of the 3 major holy sites in Islam, to taunt Palestinians and to abuse them. And you have Israelis going around town saying, 1967, we captured East Jerusalem. 2025, we have captured Gaza. Hate stands condemned. Racism stands condemned. And I think that the international community should call these far-right extremists in Israeli politics, to order. There's no way in which anybody can support it. Israel's ambition is to make Jerusalem its capital, its future capital. And the United States supported that, even under President Joe Biden. But this is part of what complicates the conflict situation in that part of the Middle East.
Thank you. Thank you all for your submissions today. Let's move on to newspaper headlines. Let's start with this day. Now, today is World Children's Day, and this day this morning leads with fantastic news out of Duchess International Hospital. Located in Ikeja, right here in Lagos, it has successfully performed a complex open heart surgery on a 5-year-old boy. Now, the intricate procedure spanned 3 days, from the 19th of May to the 21st, lasting approximately 15 hours. And it showcased the expertise and dedication of the hospital's multidisciplinary team. A huge congratulations to the entire team at Duchess International Hospital, and also to the family of this very special young boy. This achievement highlights Duchess International Hospital's commitment to providing world-class medical services at the hospital's state-of-the-art facilities, highly skilled medical team, and dedication to excellence makes it a leader in advanced medical care right here in Nigeria. Meanwhile, President Tinubu is set to arrive in Lagos to mark the 50th anniversary of the creation of ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. The federal government is also set to unveil 3 new cancer centres with the capacity to train 500 clinicians over a 3-year period. The 3 will be the first batch in a list of proposed 10 centres nationwide. Moving on to The Advocate by Onikepo Braithwaite this week. She stays within the theme of World Children's Day. This week, her article is titled "The Nigerian Child as an Endangered Species." Now, the article actually goes on to examine the hardships and discrimination children face in terms of socioeconomic status, educational opportunity, and gender. As always, a fantastic read. Moving on to the New Telegraph. Meanwhile, it does lead with the Federal Capital Territory Authority, the FCTA, on Monday ordering the sealing of the PDP's National Secretariat in Wadata Plaza over the party's failure to pay statutory ground rent for several years. Now, this story is also picked up as a lead on the front of the Daily Trust, the Punch, the Guardian and the Daily Independent also hone in on politics this morning. And then meanwhile, in terms of insecurity, if we look at the Daily Sun, it does report on what they call a bloodbath in Benue. Herders are accused of killing a police officer and 41 villagers in these latest attacks.
All right, very sad one. I'd like to go to Benue. A lot of people killed. So when is this going to end? I thought the president had met with people in the security apparatus in the country. What are they doing as regards to killing? Is this how we're just going to sit down here while lives are being decimated and we are spectators to the killings that is happening?
Not.
The other day, the NSA was speaking and he said, oh, we got this under control. What do you have under control? Look at Benue. Have you been able to fix it? No. So President Tinubu, get to work. Do you know lives of children too will have been affected there? We're celebrating International Children's Day today. And President Tinubu says he's going to protect children. Is this how we protect children when 41 people are killed in communities and societies and clashes? Kogi, also the same. So what are we doing about it?
It's a very sad time.
If President Tinubu cannot bring insecurity to a standstill in this country or reduce it, then he should say it so that we know he's failing when it comes to insecurity. People are dying. And it's not by providing statistics and say, we've neutralized over 11,000 terrorists. No. People are dying. President Tinubu, fix it. You have voted for this.
So, for me, the PDP secretariat issue, I think I always find it quite amusing when impunity catches up with you. Yes, this issue has been politicized, if you look at the timing around it. However, I hope PDP, why were you not paying your ground rent?
Come on.
For how many years? Since 2006? So I also think, yes, the issue has been unfairly weaponized and politicized by the Minister of the FCT. However, I also think that they say he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. I believe that you shouldn't make it easy for your enemies to come for you. Keep your affairs in order. I was speaking to somebody who left the private sector, went into public sector here in Nigeria, and because of her experience in private sector, she had learned to recon everything, kept all her receipts, everything was in order. So the day they called EFCC for her, it was very easy for her to say, my affairs are in order.
This is it.
Pick another way to attack me. So having said that, I think the opposition also needs to be careful to keep their houses in order as well, so that it's not so easy to attack them and dismantle their structures.
Agreed. Thank you, Dr.
Okay, very quickly, let me talk about the lead story in this day newspaper about the success, the achievement at the Dorchester International Hospital. Yes. I recall that when that hospital was launched, I think 2021, was it you or Leila?
It was me.
Who did the report? Okay,
Yes.
You went there and you gave us reports and overview and all of that. Yes. And now we have this good news from that hospital about this hospital being able to do a successful heart surgery involving a 5-year-old child, a Master D. The parents are Mr. and Mrs. Adetono. A hole in the heart kind of situation. And we're told that, the child is on his way to full recovery. Yes. Congratulations to the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adetono, and congratulations to Dorchester International Hospital and the team, from the CEO, Dr. Shitabe, to the medical team, Dr. Basi Udo, Dr. Who led the team now? Dr. Salami, and other members of that team who have been able to do this. Now, what are the editorial points here? Dorchester International Hospital is the 3rd largest private hospital in Nigeria, after Evercare and Reddington Hospital. It's part of the Reddington Group.
Yes.
It shows that, look, quality service in terms of medicine can be provided here,
right here in Nigeria,
if the objective conditions are available. Most of the surgeons in that Dorchester Hospital, they were persons abroad who decided, let us relocate to Nigeria. Let us give back to our country with our expertise. Some of the best doctors in the UK and the US, in South Africa also, are Nigerians. Yes. And for these persons to continue to come and make this contribution and make a difference, I think that the Nigerian government should encourage them.
Agreed.
Cost may be an issue, because that was one of the issues when you reported the story
Yes.
originally. But I think it's good
Yes,
to
but
know that
but
tourism.
comparatively, it is cheaper,
Yeah,
which is
but
what the
the
report showed, to stay in Nigeria.
Okay, medical tourism
Yes.
can then be addressed if we have these centers of
Absolutely.
excellence. And talking about centers of excellence, I end by the statement by Professor Ali Pate that the Tinubu administration is going to commission 10 oncology centers,
yes.
cancer centers that
Yes.
are world class. Now, those centers should not just be commissioned to mark May 29. They should be properly equipped, they should be of use to Nigerians,
Yes.
and President Tinubu should make sure that issues of oncology are also specially
Definitely.
addressed, as he has promised us.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank
very
you all.